here we go. Time to replace this carb solenoid. And that's where it failed. You can see metal coming through, and it shorted out and burnt itself up right against this little vacuum thing. And okay, yeah. Everyone, welcome back. It has been a minute. The K truck has been sitting more or less dead in my driveway here for about 3 weeks. And I'll show you what we are tackling today, because I think after this, the K truck will be up and running. So, whoosh. I replaced the fuel pump, and my carb solenoid immediately burnt out. You can actually see here, if I zoom in, see where the metal exposed wire. So the current jumped, and I think it jumped and made contact right here. But I started it up, and I saw some white smoke, and then it blew a fuse again. So, and I watched it come out of that solenoid. So we're gonna be replacing that. I have here with me, here are the solenoids I ordered from Japan, which really is, here, I'm gonna flip you, bam. I'll have to edit that in post. Here are the solenoids I ordered from Japan. So, boom, right there. That's another one. There's actually the solenoid. And then here I have 4 spark plugs. We're also gonna do the spark plugs while we're at it. So these are the new solenoids, still fresh in the bag, right from Subaru Japan. That is the one that actually burnt up. This is another solenoid, which I assume is fine, but I just didn't want to have any issues. You can see there's a terminal on this plug that's open, and that is because this plug goes into this terminal. And that's why I wanted to do them together, because it just seemed like if you're gonna have one fresh one, you might as well have 2. I just wanna go and show you, so this solenoid is obviously very easy to find. I mean, it sits right on top, but that wire comes down. So travel with me. It comes down, and let me hold this in a way so you can see. So right in here, very tight space, but you see there's 2 wires zip tied together. One of them goes to whatever that is, and the other, if you can just see my finger, you can't, but the solenoid is in, boom, right there. Now I do want to somehow remove that without damaging the cable, because technically that solenoid does still work. So I will use like an open-ended wrench, but that is the location of the second solenoid. Okay, gonna give you a little update. So I managed to undo the electrical connector from the plug and this is the connector which both solenoids feed into. Now sometimes undoing these types of things can be really difficult. I used the classic, where is it now? Oh, right here, dentist pick type tool. And the technique was to, let's see if I can get you back in here. The technique was to pry up on, oh my goodness, so hard to film. It was to, oh, where'd you go? It was to pull up. Oh gosh, now it won't focus. Come on, help a guy. It was to pull up on that. Here, I'll try to do this one more time. I got my pick in, and there's this little rectangular tab, and I pulled up on it while pulling out on this. Now, my plan for getting this other solenoid out is I'm going to disconnect both terminals from this plug, which, you know, doesn't matter, and I will use, I have these, I have this socket set that will allow a pass-through, and I will use that to try and remove that solenoid, because I really don't have a wrench that can otherwise get around there and fit in that tiny space. So hopefully in a couple minutes here I'll have is the other solenoid. These pass-through wrenches really worked absolutely perfect. So that was a 3/4 socket, and like I said, the fact that the cable could pass through, I was able to fit it on there and pop it off no problem. Now this is a working solenoid, so I'll hold on to that in case anyone ever needs one or I ever need one. But now I am just going to reverse the process and put the new one in. You can see it has a nice brass washer. This is a plastic cover I'll obviously take off. And you know, other than that, I think we are moving forward really smoothly. So I'll update you once the solenoids are back. The moment of truth. So the solenoids are in. You can see nice and shiny, and somewhere down there you see nice and shiny new cables. And I went and replaced the fuse. It's the 15, the one to the right, the 15 up top to the right. And I'm gonna do this live on camera so that you can see, will this truck fire? Now, like I said, it's been sitting for about 3 weeks now. So here we go. I don't know if you heard that. That's the fuel pump priming. I'm gonna do it one more time. It's in neutral. Here we go. Oop, almost. Here, let this come back. Oh boy, here we go. Come on, baby, come on. Let's just make sure we don't have no electrical fires happening. All right, come on now. Doesn't seem to want to start. What is the issue? Boom, baby. All right. Smoking like a son of a gun. What on flipping God's great earth is going on there? But that is a running truck. Now I'm gonna let it run for a second. It just smells like gas. It doesn't necessarily smell bad, so it could just be running ultra rich, which would make sense. But boom! Happy days. Happy days. Smoking like crazy right now. I'm gonna let it run for a second and then check to make sure everything is hunky-dory. But it's running.